everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. This is episode 2, and today's a big day. It's the game. In about an hour or so, I'll be kicking off. And, I don't know, big game today, so what do you think offense needs to do today for both teams?
Good question. Well, you're right. This is a big game. We've been waiting 365 days for this revenge. It's been a rough year rough 2 years actually, listening to the Michigan fans talk smack and us not have anything to do about it. So much of this game is just about having that ability to say we won and bragging rights, So it's really big for us to reclaim that title and get back on top for a year. So it's been a largely anticipated week. I know we've been talking all week long about this game. So I guess I'll start out. And my ideas for the offensive keys to the game for the Buckeyes, I really think it's going to come down to 2 or 3 things in my mind. The first, we've been hearing it on all the sports media and stuff about battles in the trenches. Of course, that's true. That's a given for any Ohio State-Michigan game. Mm-hmm. Earlier in the year, Ohio State's offensive line looked really shaky. Yeah. And I think the last couple weeks, with a healthy Travion in the backfield, they've really stepped up and looked like they're doing a lot better. So we really need the offensive line to continue to do that. And in addition, the other thing the offensive line really needs to do is give Kyle McCord time. I saw some stat that said, when he's given time and is not pressured, he's almost 80%. Yeah. And he's got 20 touchdowns, 2 picks. When he is under pressure, it's down to 30% completion, and he's got 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. So giving him time in this big game to really evaluate open receivers, get it to the right person is really going to be huge for us, I think. I think the other big factor on offense is, I already mentioned Travion. He's really coming on. And if he really gets going, Michigan's defense for the run is first or second in the country. They're only allowing 90-some yards a game. They shut down Penn State really well. So I think if we can get Travion moving the ball, that'll open up the play-action pass and give our wide receivers the ability to get open and start making some plays deeper down the field. Yeah. So those are the big things I think we have to do to win this game today on offense.
Yeah, I think another thing, obviously, I think Marvin Harrison, not necessarily just his matchup, but I think the Emeka Egbuka matchup and Cade Stover are just as important as Harrison.
Really good point.
I just think, Marvin, if he takes away their best DB and Emeka and Cade Stover are still getting open, what do you do? Because you still have to be careful of Travion, like you said.
What about Fleming? Could he be this X factor? He's really underperformed all year long. Maybe he has a
his
standout
final
game.
Maybe as a Buckeye. So.
Or a couple years ago, I don't even know if you remember this, but when Chris Olave had a breakout year against Michigan.
Yeah.
He came out on the field, had a couple touchdowns, and just had a breakout game against Michigan. So maybe Carnell Tate does something like that. Maybe we get someone like that.
Yeah. Also, another person I think is Xavier Johnson. Those end arounds with him. I think Chris Olave did it that one year in 2018 when we beat him. We scored 60 on him. It was an end around, and nobody was really planning for that. So I think Xavier Johnson, he might get a touchdown today.
That's a really good call.
I think there's a chance.
Here's another weird one. I saw some just little blib on the media about Devin Brown being healthy again. Do you think Ryan Day's putting him in?
Oh, I bet. I know he has him in the red zone.
It worries me, to be honest.
It's a little scary because he's a backup. I think what would be cool? I think Devin Brown could act like he's running it or something and do a jump pass,
That would be nice.
They do that in the NFL sometimes with Derrick Henry.
Yep.
If they act like he's just going to go
as we know as a Bengals fan.
Just he fakes like he's rushing into the pile, it just jumps over, and
Yeah.
nobody's there because everybody committed. So
I think that could be a good wrinkle because
Yeah.
I do worry that I don't want Ryan Day getting too cute. Obviously, there's always this talk about him coaching like he did against Georgia last year and
Yeah.
not coaching like he did against Michigan last year. Obviously, the man's got a ton of pressure on him right now.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
0-2 the last couple of years, and uh, you know, this is really going to be hard because without Harbaugh, this loss would even look worse
he
for
can't
him.
win in this
So,
situation.
so anyway, I just
Yeah.
don't want him to get too cute. But I
Yeah.
do think there's a chance if there's a first and goal, second and goal from the 5 or something like that,
yeah.
Devin could come in the game and we could see something there. So we'll see.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, let's switch gears to the defensive side. What do you think our keys to the game are on the defensive side of the ball?
So I think first one really big. I think it's just winning up front, like you said. I think I'm predicting Jack Sawyer and Tumi Malawa have a big day, especially because I know Michigan's O line is a little weaker on the outsides with their tackles. I think it's the right tackle maybe, and I mean one of our best defensive players is who's going to go against them. So I think also even just like setting the edge also with them because McCarthy's one of his biggest things is like rolling out. So if we can get off those blocks and stop him from moving, or at least make it only like a yard or two every time, that's huge, I think. And I think just obviously stopping the run game up front. Michael Hall is back, who's been a beast this year. And we have pretty good guys up front, I think, this year that have been playing really good. So I don't know. There's obviously going to be big runs, I think, for both teams. It's just how many there are, I think, will impact it. So I think, yeah. I just think making them have to pass, honestly, also. I mean, McCarthy's good, but he's not. If they have to pass 80 times or 30 times, 40 times, I don't know if McCarthy will be able to get it done. So I think, yeah, just stopping the run mainly is really big. I mean, Michigan's got great running backs this year, Corum and Edwards. They're both really good. It'll be hard for sure. How much we minimize it, I don't know. But I think that's just a big key, I think. Being able to stop
I think
that.
you're right. I think obviously those front four for Ohio State. The guy you didn't mention, who's my favorite, I think, is Tyleek.
Tyleek Williams.
Oh,
I
he's been
forgot
playing out of his mind this year, like coming out of nowhere and just disrupting
Yeah.
offenses left and right. And man, if he has a big game today, stuffing down the middle, and like you said, that paired with Sawyer and Tuamaloau on the
Oh,
outsides,
yeah, that's going to be hard.
I think you really hit on something good about keeping J.J. McCarthy contained. We cannot let him beat us on the ground. He scrambles, and
Yeah.
those are backbreakers for the defense. So I think keeping him contained, keeping the Michigan running backs in check. I mean, they're going to get some runs. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
They're really good.
Yeah.
But we gotta not let them beat us like they did last year. Those long runs that Donovan broke off last year were just backbreakers. It literally just took the entire wind out of the sails for Ohio State, and we just cannot let them do that this year. So I think we do that, put it in J.J. McCarthy's hands to beat us. Our secondary is also really good.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, we haven't even talked about Denzel Burke or.
Edmund Nilsson's been playing pretty good
Nilsson
recently.
and Josh Proctor, I think, is really
I think he could
looking
be
to have a step up game. We also haven't even talked about our linebackers. I look
Tommy
for
Eichenberg, yeah.
Eichenberg to be completely dialed in, ready to go. Steel Chambers, Simon having a
Simon's been
good
playing
second
good,
half of the year.
yeah.
So those three guys also are going to be key in stopping the run and stopping those tight ends too. Their tight end is also really good. We talk about Cade Stover a lot, but
Paulson Loveland, so almost pretty similar stats.
Yep,
to him, so.
exactly. So I think, keeping our linebackers, watching those guys as well is going to be really huge.
Yeah.
All right. What about, let's move to like the X Factor player who you might think. Who's the sneaky guy that no one's talking about that you think could make a difference for us?
So we already touched on Fleming and Johnson on the offensive side. I think Josh Proctor on the defensive side will be an X factor. Because I don't know if you remember last year, one of first quarter, J.J. McCarthy, he throws like a 10-yard pass on the Michigan sideline, and I think it was Cornelius Johnson maybe. He takes it like 70 yards for a touchdown. But I don't know if you noticed, all those big plays were typically because our safeties were not there, or just like we didn't have anybody back there to help. Like it was one missed tackle or something, or and it's gone.
Yeah.
And I think this year, Jim Knowles, I mean, one 40-yard play given up all season to like a really great trick play. I'm not gonna lie, that was amazing. Like that was, I don't know. I think that's a big factor because just last year they killed us with the big plays. I mean, even just in the beginning, not even the runs at the end, just the deep throws that were wide open because our guys were just messed up a little bit, and it's over. So, I think Josh Proctor being back there, or whoever it is, I don't know, maybe Sonny Styles plays back there sometimes. Like, I think either of one of them are X factors because I think it'll have to make, like, they can go down the field, but as long as they're not getting like huge plays on us, I think that's huge.
Yeah.
Because last year we still almost beat them. It's just those big plays killed us, in my opinion. So,
I agree.
I think that's huge.
All right, I'm going on the offensive side. Here's my X factor. You mentioned him briefly, but we haven't talked about him a lot, and I think that's Cade Stover. And here's why I say this. Like, first of all, the guy could have gone NFL last year. He chose to come back for another year, which really surprised me. He's, just itching to get a W for the Buckeyes, and there's going to be a lot of attention given to Travion, Marvin, Igbuka, and Ryan Day has really been trying to integrate the the tight ends into our play calls the last couple weeks. And I really think between Stover and Gee, they're gonna have a lot of plays dialed up for them, and them being able to make that difference, keep the chains moving, getting first downs, and I think that's going to be really key to this offense.
Yeah, I agree. Because like we have so many skill position players now that are like, you need your guys on them at all times, and it's just I don't know if Michigan honestly has enough to spread out like everybody, because they have really good defensive players. It's just, do they have enough to cover our offensive players?
Yeah.
And that's where I think Stover, he'd be like one of the last people I think that, might not have an amazing person on him all the time. So.
Yep, that's going to be a nice matchup because it's going to be against a linebacker.
A linebacker, yeah.
Someone like that they're going to have to try and cover him with, and he's,
I mean, Stover's
really
been
good.
cooking like court DBs and safeties. So it's going to be hard for a linebacker to cover him if it's what it comes down to. So, yeah.
All right, man. So what's your final prediction here?
So, I think I got Michigan losing.
All right.
I'm not going to have them winning.
I'm not going to have to kick you out of the house. That's good.
Yeah. So, I think it'll be close either way. But, I don't know. I could see Ohio State maybe just pulling away a little bit. I think we maybe, I don't know. I think it comes down to getting touchdowns also. We need to capitalize in there. We didn't really talk about that, but I think.
You mean in the red zone?
Yeah, in the red zone.
Yeah.
I think we'll get it done, but it'll be close. I know Michigan's favored right now, which I respect. I mean, they're at home also, which doesn't help. But yeah, I think I got them maybe like in a, I don't know, maybe like 31-24 or 31-27, that range. I think defenses will play good.
You got to pick a score. What you picking?
All right, I'm picking 31-27 Ohio State. Final score.
31-27. Okay.
Yeah.
We're actually not too far off here. I'm picking the Buckeyes, of course.
Yeah.
Never not pick them. I also think it's going to be a close game.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be probably in the 20s, like scoring, something like that. Like the defenses on both sides are really good. So, and there's kind of weaknesses on both offenses too. Like, both offenses are good, but the defenses are just a little bit better on both sides. So,
I agree.
I was going to say 27-24. It's my prediction.
Really?
Yeah. So, I'll keep that.
Yeah.
A little bit lower than you.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm going with. Maybe a field goal to win it for the Buckeyes, and
maybe
a little bit of
maybe something like that.
Some avenging the missed field goal in the playoff game last year. That'd be a nice So anyway, all right,
Yeah.
let's go Bucks and
Go
let's
Bucks, baby.
kick some Michigan ass.
Yep. All right.
All
Thanks
right.
for watching, everybody. Yeah. If you want any comments or like ideas for what us to talk about, maybe in the future episodes, just let us know. And just fun talking.